Hello all, welcome to this course on ISTQA Foundation Level Examination. This is a chapter 2. This is testing throughout the software development life cycle, that is SDLC. So this topic itself bit awkward because see, this is the SDLC. It's completely a software development life cycle. But what is the role of testers in this life cycle? All right, so that's what the thing is, and that's what the overall chapter is all about. And in this chapter you will have completely K2 level. All right, so it's a very easy to crack these 6 marks. Let's be focused and keen to get these 6 marks out. All right, so before entering into the software development life cycle, that is the first topic is on software development and software testing. All right, so before enter into this, so let's have a small story so that you can get some stuff out of it. See, so this is the first scenario. So here developers is developing the software. All right, so it may be, you can consider it maybe for the banking related software. All right, and see what tester is doing. She's just sleeping because she doesn't have any software to validate. All right, so no software for her to validate. That's what she's sleeping. No software or no test products for the to validate. All right, so she's sleeping, but she's getting her pay on every month. Say for example, if the software developer is taking some 2 months to develop the first version of the software, so the entire 2 months she is not productively or proactively working or testing the software with respect to this project. So maybe in her free time she may go through some of the the stuff like she can develop her competency, that is different, but she doesn't have work to work on this banking project, but she is in this project and she is getting a pay as well. All right, so this is the first scenario, so scenario one. Coming to the second scenario, so maybe after 2 months the software has been released to the software tester, and he's taking some 1 month for testing the software. The complete 1 month this developer is not doing any work because she doesn't have work. So again, she can develop her own competence. Yeah, that is fine. She may be developing on a back end, but still, coming to the project perspective, there is no work for her. But tester, he is working. So of course 2 months he doesn't have any work, and now he started to work, and it will take 1 month for him to complete and give a defect report to the developer. So again the developer starts to fixing those issues. That time this tester will, the scenario will be same, it will keep on continue. All right, so this is a scenario 2. So in the scenario 1 and 2, there may be no lot of wastage for the company, for the organization, for the budget of the software. That is, for 2 months the software tester has to be idle, and 1 month the developer has to be idle. And this is the process called waterfall model or the conventional model. Waterfall model or conventional model of software development methodology. All right, and you will have a detailed explanation about waterfall and conventional, or no, the current traditional is all or waterfall, and we have the current methodology V model also in our upcoming videos, but this is just for your understanding. And coming to this is a V model or other iterative model. All right, so here see, software tester and developer, they work together, so there is no point of waiting for some mm, test product or test data has to given to the tester, as well as some software issues or defect has to given to the developer. They both can work together, so that what will happen is, so most of the defects can be fixed on early stage itself. So how it can be done, and what are all the techniques can be carried out, so that's all in this chapter, that is the testing in the software development life cycle. All right, so I hope you understand this scenario. Third scenario is all about our the entire structure, I mean the entire chapter. In this we have the 1 and 2 scenario also on a bit for you to understand the conventional stuff. All right, so let's see a software development lifecycle model describes. So you have to understand each and every sentence so that you can crack the 6 marks easily. All right, so even our tutorial also in the same way that to make you remember, and you have to understand the concepts as well on an easier way. The software development lifecycle model describes types of activity performed at each stage. See, this is a one important thing you have to understand. All right. See, if you see the first and second here, this girl is, this lady is idle, and here, this lady is idle. All right. But here both are working. So that means this is what the concept is. The testers role has to be present in each stage of the software development project. All right. So how activities relate to one another logically and chronologically, there are the number of different software development lifecycle models, each of which require different approaches to the testing. All right. So software development and software testing are an important part of the tester's role. See, that's what many of the testers, the freshers who are thinking their role is on only on software testing. No, that's not true. Your role should be in the software development lifecycle as well. That is, you have to be very much familiar on the software development so that you can easily gain so many, you can get so many defects, you can break the code, you can get so many defects in an early stage as well as at the end of the software release also, if the project, the code has been introduced at the end of the software. All right. So let's understand, in any software development lifecycle model, there are several characteristics of good testing. So what is good testing, and what are the characteristics of good testing? Say it's very easy for you to understand. Say for example, um, just understand this concept so that you can understand the entire chapter easily. All right. So if you, as I said, if you are working for the bank called IOB Bank, that is Indian Overseas Bank, as we are Indian, majority of our learners are also Indian. So I just mentioned the IOB, Indian Overseas Bank, or Standard Chartered Bank, or Axis Bank, whatever bank it is. Okay, so let's say Axis Bank, it will be common. It is an international bank, so we have multiple branches over there. So let's see Axis Bank. So this is the Axis Bank, and in your this is a requirement document. So in the requirement document, this requirement document has to be given to both developers as well as testers. So what developers, he just analyzed the entire software requirement document, and he started to develop the um, software, and he uses the same logo whatever it is given in the particular logo, or the spelling you can consider spelling. Okay, so here it is mentioned as Access Bank. All right, so this has been given, and the developers may not been has been seen this properly, because and you may not know, right? So as now we have the bank called Axis, so the AXIS is being familiar, but now before developing the software, there may not be a chance of getting this one as a the quickly, it is not catchable. But if you see in the requirement document, in so many places they mentioned as Axis. All right, so there may be chances that developer may miss this, but tester has identified this as an issue, and he may raise to the customer saying that in the document we have access, but in the logo you have access. So what will happen is, at the early stage itself, this has to be corrected. If not, what will happen is, if the tester is not raised, it's not only a role of tester to raise, even the developer also can raise. But again, the mentality, the psychology of the developers and testers may difference. That's what our first chapter is, right? Psychology of the testers and developers. So the psychology of the developers is to develop the code and not to break the code means, and not to critique the requirement part. All right, but testers role is to make criticize the requirement from the test products, from the requirement till the code or the system level software. All right, so it's very easy for him to understand and raise an issue on an early stage. If it misses, and if it is goes to the customer, definitely customers, it's of course this is a wrong from the customer side, but still there may be the time consumption, and there may be some bad name for the organization, that because there's a uh, it's a communication gap, right? So it's like there is a mismatch between this, so this has to be communicated properly before developing or prior to the development or the early stage. So this is a role. So why I spent this much time to make you understand is the tester's role has to be from the beginning until the end of the software. All right, so that is what the characteristics of good testing. So you may have different phrases, different sentences, different summary, but all will go and all will focus only on the perspective of yearly defect. Is always good for the project. All right, so whatever the defects has been found at the early stage, it's very good for the project. So for every development activity, there is a corresponding test activity. That is a V model. All right. So from the starting until the end, you have the equivalent testing activity. When developer is doing some development activity, so at the same time, tester has to do. So that's what here they mean. There's a for every development activity, there's a corresponding test activity. Then each level has a own objectives. So it's not like he's doing something, you have to do something. It's like you have to, there is some objective in each level and you have to abide with the particular objective, and you have to uh, align with that to give a better results. Test analysis and design for a given test level begins during the corresponding development activity. Again, the same. So analysis and design phase, you have to test level has to begin. And the final one is testers participate in all the discussion. It's not like the developers developing the code and let the product come to us, then we will see. It should not be like this. So as a testers, you have to be participate in all the discussions to define and refine the requirements, designs, and are involved in reviewing work products, example requirements, designs. Of course, design is completely on a developer's perspective, but still you should be assigned, like your test manager or your lead has to assign you for reviewing the test product. So because the tester's view is always different from developers, so you have to be there. User stories, as soon as drafts are available, no matter which software development lifecycle, so whatever the software development lifecycle it may be, but you have to be there. So test activity should start in early stages of the life cycle, adhering to the test principle of early testing. So of course, in the principle early testing and the early stages of the life cycle, the testing process should be there. That is also one main principle in the testing out of 7 principles, right? So this is the how the testers activity in the software development life cycle. And this is very simple, I don't want to confuse more on this. So very simple. See, in the ISTQB foundation level syllabus categories, the common software development life cycle model has only two. One is sequential and another is the iterative and incremental. Sequential is, so very simple, the first and second scenario what we have seen. For that only I took more time. All right, so sequential is once if you complete the software, then only I'll do testing. Once the development is complete, then only testing will be there. Then if you find an issue, then only I'll fix it. So until that it will be idle. So all right, so 50% of the time will be on idle, idle, idle. Then other another 50% is work, work, work. So this is not a productive way of making a successful project. So that is a sequential development models. And second is iterative and incremental development models is a V model. All right, not only V model, we have a spiral model, we have different other model, but V model is one of the successive model. So that's what is the iterative and incremental development models. So we can just pause and read this. This is overall thing that I have explained. If you have any questions, you can come back to us. All right. And yeah, so I have given this. See, for example, so this, I guess this you understood, right? So that's all about this one, and now we'll begin with the new topic. All right, so new topic which has some relative with this but not completely. So like these two, so this and this is completely attached, and this is a bit different. All right, so let's see. uh, you are getting the project from the Tata Motors to develop their site. All right. So in this, what are the ways that your development models will be? Say for example, first is maybe this is the first scenario. The first scenario maybe your test your SDLC, that is your software development methodology, brings that your developers has to completely develop these software. Say for example, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and all the logos together, it's maybe the 8. All right, so all these 8 modules, 8 components, you can say, as of now you can see 8 components. All right, the developers has to complete the 8 component and give to the tester. This is one approach. All right, so this is, right, the first and second scenario. All right, but not exactly same. It's a kind of that is called rational unified process. Okay, rational unified process. Rational unified process. Second is, the developers will not wait until the 8 modules, 8 components has to complete. Once the brand is been completed, he'll send to the testers for the testing the software. All right, so one completes, he'll give tester to test. So if the tester find an issue, all right, so what the developer will do is he will check whether the same kind of issues has been um, did in any other thing. Say for example, at that time he may complete three another 3 modules. So he'll check is there same kind of issue has been done in any other the 3 modules or not. Say for example, this drop down list, maybe this instead of like this, the drop down list may be like this. So he'll check, definitely if make this, if he made the mistake in this, definitely there is a possibilities of making the same mistakes over here. So what he'll do is he'll just fix this before releasing the product. All right, so after he complete this, he'll release the to the testers again with 4. So again tester will do. So this process is called scrum usually. Okay, so the time we'll see later. And third one is, there is a possibility of sending like one by one, or maybe possibly of sending 4 or 5, one complete, or 4 complete, or 8 complete, all 8 complete. So it depends on the process or the availability of the team members. So this is called kanban. And the final one is spiral. So spiral is highly, it is usually used for the kind of a stabilized software. So it will be like, once if once it is already the particular website has been completed, and now they want to launch the car called Tiago. So they'll just update the logo of the Tiago and the spelling and the what are the warranty claim and the image of the car. So those and the price, those they'll update and they'll send for a review. So this is called spiral. And duration it will take is, for this it will be long, because it has to be the 8 complete model has to be 8 complete component has to be complete, right? So it will take long time, and this will take some time. It will take hour or a day or a week, because it will be like one by one. So maybe in the brands, it will take some one day, the concepts they'll take some 2 days, and about it everything will be fixed, so it will take some 4 to 5 hours, and owners it will take some 1 or 2 hours. So it will be like a hours only in a scrum. And coming to kanban, it is again undefined. So it depends, maybe it may be long, it may be short, depends on the again availability of the team members, everything. And spiral again, it is a kind of major changes. Say if there is a new brand has been launching, then they have to work completely on the new brands, irrespective of the other page they will not touch, only the brand they will add. So that time there will be, it will take some time, and they'll have only one to develop and test. Within that you'll have multiple components. So these are all the 4 things you have to remember. All right, now you can see this. See, rational unified processes, each iteration. So I'll start from here. Okay, iterative development occurs when group of features specified, designed, built and tested together in a series of cycles, often a fixed. So this is not like a sequential, but here the rational unified is kind of a, each iteration tends to relatively long, 2 or 3 months, and the features increments are correspondingly large, such as 2 or 3 group of related features. So here of course it's not, that's what I said, it's not exactly like 1 and 2, but still you have a feature. It has a, see, the 2 or 3 features also, it will take more time. All right, so that is what it is, a rational unified process. It is correspondingly large, such as 2 or 3 group of related features. So usually these kind of projects can be handled for kind of IRCTC websites, all right. So or the centralized banks, like that. It is a kind of iterative model, but not exactly, not productively, like 1 or 2 or weeks. So it's these, other than this particular model, all other will take less time, but this will take more time. All right, so that is a difference between these. And in these also, when the developers working for these, uh, developing or the structural design or the architecture, testers may go for a requirement analysis of the acceptance level or the system level stuff. So this will be under the iterative, but the main difference is it will take long. Why I have differentiated these as 1 and 2 is, the reason is, it will take more time, and that time obviously testers or developers will be idle theoretically. All right, on a practical basis, sorry, practically on a theoretical basis, yes, it is a kind of a interactive approach and the incremental model. All right. In Scrum, each iteration tends to be really very short. Example, hours, days, or a few weeks. And the feature increments and correspondingly small, such as few enhancement and 2 or 3. That's what few enhancements is, like new brands has been added, like that. Kanban, implemented with or without the fixed length. So that's what there will be, not fixed length. There may be some factors, like some approvals or some the teams availabilities. Everything will be there on a iteration basis, which can deliver either a single enhancement or a feature upon the completion, or a group features together to release at a once. So this will take more time than Scrum. That's what nowadays we are following Scrum. Rather, we are not following RUP or a Kanban or Spiral. Spiral involves a creating experimental increments. Usually, it is a POC projects. If you hear about the proof of concept, in the proof of concept they used for the spirals. Because if there is one small feature has been changed, then it will send for the testing. All right, so that's what this is, a kind of a difference of POC projects. They'll use spiral kind of thing and mix it with the Scrum. And some of which may heavily reworked or even abandoned subsequent development work. See, that's work of the spiral, because if something is removed completely, then the validation also takes place, because you have to check almost all the features, because whatever you remove should not impact the rest. All right, so these are all the 4 things you have to remember. And yeah, that's all about this video. If you have any doubts, you can get back to us, and the next video will have the waterfall model, the V model, and if possible we'll add up the spiral model as well. All right, so that's all about this video. And one thing is, you should not get confused with this, because I just for making you understand better, I just used the term 1 and 2 here. That mean me a lot, so you just be careful. It is not like a sequential approach, it is a interactive model. All right, but it is not exactly like a Scrum. That's what we are not using rational unified process. We are going for the Scrum or spiral, sometimes Kanban. All right, so that's all about this video. If you have any queries, any doubts, you can stop then and there, and you can note it down. You can get back to us. We'll try to solve as soon as possible. We'll see in the next video. Until then, bye, take care.